What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Ubisoft doubling down on Assassin's Creed. It was probably the biggest news story to come from Ubisoft today, but we did get other things as well, most notably talking about some of our old friends, some games that are going to be releasing before March 31st, 2024. So we got some old friends like Avatar, and even the oldest of friends, Skull and Bones. So good to see that, they can get moved. And honestly, Skull and Bones has been moved like 8 times from these kind of things, but hopefully we are now in this next 10 or so months where we're going to be getting a bunch of games, actually more games than just those 3. And Assassin's Creed Mirage obviously was talked about. The rumors continue to come out that that game is coming out in October, so that should be pretty cool, and I assume we'll see it next month at their Ubisoft Forward. And then they talked about the future of kind of the business end or the development end of Assassin's Creed, and they said, we notably plan to increase the number of talents working on Assassin's Creed by 40% over the coming years. And they kind of expanded upon that and said that there's around 2,000 developers that's currently working on Assassin's Creed. The total workforce of Ubisoft is about 20,000. That's actually down, right, because they kind of closed some offices, put some people into different positions. So that number is actually down from the previous number. And they talked about how what's going to happen with that 40% for Assassin's Creed, you're actually going to get that because of other people in Ubisoft. They're going to be pulling them from their current jobs and putting them on the Assassin's Creed franchise. So just a little math, right? 2,000, so it would go to 2,800 over the coming years. And again, those 800 extra people is going to be relocated from other franchises, is what they say. So I kind of want to just throw in now my personal opinion, kind of talk about, is this the right move? I get excited. I get excited when I hear this because it's like, on one side of things, okay, well, Ubisoft obviously has had a lot of issues, and you also haven't had other games really grab and hold as well as you would want them to. So it makes sense to kind of go all in on what's been your biggest thing for how many years do you want to give it, right? Many, many years. And honestly, the thing that's going to probably continue to be your biggest franchise over the next 10 or so years, right? Assassin's Creed. So to go all in on it, you kind of expect that. Also, I guess to be fair, when you have 2,000, let's even say 3,000 people, and then you have 17,000 other people not working on Assassin's Creed, I guess technically it's not, maybe it's the majority in terms of numbers, right? Because maybe no other franchise has that amount of people, but it is still diverse. They're still going to be making other games, right? It's not just Assassin's Creed, but it's very clear, I think, that they hope and maybe even expect, depending on how you want to read into it, that if there's going to be something that, like, quote-unquote saves Ubisoft, it's going to be Assassin's Creed. I kind of agree. I do kind of agree. I think the idea that Mirage can get people back, and then really the roadmap after that with all of these projects, whether it's multiplayer or VR or the next big, open world RPG one, all of these different things, some kind of experiment Assassin's Creed games, that they're going to work, that's going to be something that pays off in the end. I think that's probably the right strategy. On the other side of things, and to be fair to see that side, if you're going all in on one thing, largely, as we kind of just explained, and then that one thing fails, well, that's going to be a huge, huge issue, right? So Assassin's Creed has had problems before with just kind of coming out too fast, and there's, things that obviously happen because of it. I'm not sure if you want to say, and I think it's a combination. When you had that, like, Syndicate, Unity, Rogue, that kind of era of Assassin's Creed, what truly killed Assassin's Creed? Was it the yearly releases? Was it the poor quality of some of them, like a Unity, like on day one, how that game ran and performed? Like, what was it? I do think it was a mixture of both, but I actually probably assume it was more of just there's too many. There's too many, and they come out every year, and people just can't do it. And honestly, it feels like you're going to be getting that again. The spacing of them, in my opinion, that is going to be the make or break. It's not, quality for sure. Absolutely the quality of these games. And because if they're really good, if you go back to the golden era of Assassin's Creed, and maybe some consider the Origins on that era to be the golden era, but when you have really consistently good games in a franchise back to back to back, right, you can grow and you can do really, really well. I'm sure they would make a boatload of money, but I don't know if people are going to accept that every single year. I think there is something in people that if you get an AC game, and I guess that's the idea that you're trying to make it different. And I'll give it to them. Like, I'll try them. I'll try these Assassin's Creed games, but they got to be very, very careful about the placement, I think, and the planning of it. You can never have, I would say, two of the same kind of Assassin's Creed games come out back-to-back years. But then when you have something that, say, is like an Odyssey, right, like that kind of thing, and you have DLC that lasts, well, you have a game come out, DLC that lasts, and then does the next game come out the following fall, right? Because that's, again, I think that's kind of how you wear people down. I don't know if that would work, but I do think that's kind of the plan. That's kind of the prototype that they had developed a little while ago. So I wish them the best. I wish Assassin's Creed, like, I love Assassin's Creed, and I want it to be the best franchise it can be. So I'll be playing pretty much all these Assassin's Creed games, but it is interesting to see Ubisoft. I truly do believe, again, yes, 17,000 people aren't working on AC, but at the same time, how many are working on the next biggest thing? Like, is there 3,000 people that are going to be working on a different franchise? No. Maybe the next one has 1,000 or 500 or, something like that. So Assassin's Creed, by numbers, by percentage of the company, is the biggest thing. So they're going all in. And then if that were to not work, well, there's already been talks, I think, for a long, long time about Ubisoft. Like, do they eventually sell? Do they get bought by somebody? I don't know who would be the ones to actually do it, right? But maybe that's a conversation that they'll be having in the next 5 or so years. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.